What if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do to win her back is disappear? Right now, you're probably thinking that cutting contact is a mistake. After all, doesn't silence create distance? But what if I told you this disappearance could make her question everything she thought she knew about you? It's not about playing games. It's not about revenge or manipulation. It's about creating an irresistible shift in the dynamic by simply stepping away. The absence will force her to confront the most powerful question: what if I made a mistake? Disappearing isn't a weakness, it's strategic. You're at a crossroads. You can keep chasing, begging for attention, or you can disappear, turn the tables, regain control, and make her wonder what she's really lost. If you're ready to take that step and regain control, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control my destiny, not my past. Let's get started. Number 1. The illusion of control. When she walks away, your first instinct is to hold tighter. You feel the overwhelming urge to reach out, explain yourself, and prove how much she means to you. You believe that if you can just say the right words, display enough sincerity, or somehow convince her of your worth, she'll reconsider her decision. But the harder you try to regain control, the faster it slips through your fingers. You cannot force someone's emotions. Trying to do so only reveals your desperation, making her certain that leaving was the right choice. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions. Your attempts at convincing her only feed into her belief that you're weak, dependent, and emotionally unstable. In her eyes, your desperation diminishes your value. However, you disrupt her narrative when you do the unexpected and respond with complete silence. By refusing to react, you reclaim control over yourself, and as a result, you shift the dynamic entirely. Silence isn't passive, it's the ultimate demonstration of inner strength. It shows that you do not need her validation, closure, or even her presence to feel complete. When you fail to provide reassurance or a reaction, she begins to question everything in that moment of uncertainty. Doubt creeps into her mind. Did I misjudge him? Was I wrong? This uncertainty becomes your new source of power. Instead of chasing her, let go. Stop checking her social media, stop trying to decipher cryptic messages, and stop giving her emotional control over your actions. Each time you feel the urge to reach out, channel that impulse into improving yourself. Hit the gym, dive into your work, sharpen your mind. With each act of self-discipline, you distance yourself emotionally, and your self-worth increases exponentially. The paradox is this: the moment you truly let go, you gain what you've desperately been chasing: control. Your absence and refusal to engage are far more impactful than any conversation you could ever have, because when you no longer seek validation or need her approval or affection, you become something far more powerful, self-sufficient. This independence is not only deeply attractive, but also unsettling for her, as she realizes the true gravity of what she's lost. Now, speak out and comment below. I control my reactions, no one else does. Number 2. The power of silence. Right now, your heart aches to speak, to explain, to justify, or perhaps even to beg. Every fiber of your being wants to send that text, to hear her voice again, to persuade her somehow to reconsider. You believe that through words you can reconnect, repair the bond, and regain what you've lost. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Words won't fix this. They only deepen the damage, reinforcing her certainty that leaving was correct. Silence, on the other hand, speaks volumes, far louder and clearer than any plea or promise ever could. When you choose silence, you deprive her of something critical: closure. People instinctively crave certainty and explanations. They need the comfort of knowing exactly why something ended so they can neatly categorize the past and move forward without second thoughts. But when you refuse to provide this closure, her mind fills with uncertainty. Questions begin to haunt her. Why isn't he trying? Why doesn't he care? Did I underestimate him? Your silence forces her into an internal dialogue that she cannot escape. It quietly challenges her decision, causing her to revisit her assumptions and question her own judgment. Silence isn't passive, it's a strategic withholding of emotional validation. The Stoics recognized silence as a powerful form of self-control, demonstrating your ability to resist the emotional impulse to react impulsively. By mastering silence, you establish yourself as emotionally disciplined and profoundly confident. Your absence communicates more than your presence ever could. It signifies that your value isn't dependent on her recognition, approval, or attention. With every passing day of silence, your value in her eyes increases precisely because it isn't openly declared or desperately demonstrated. Instead, it is subtly implied, creating a void she never anticipated. That void becomes a mirror, reflecting her insecurities, regrets, and fears back to her. Yet silence is not a mere tactic to win her back. It's a practice of emotional independence. It teaches you that your happiness and worth aren't anchored in another person's acceptance. As you continue this discipline, something remarkable happens. You feel free. Free from the emotional chains that once bound you, free from anxiety and fear of rejection, and ultimately free from the exhausting need to control outcomes. Ironically, she will sense this freedom and independence as you embrace it. She'll feel the loss of not your words or your presence, but your attachment. She will begin to see clearly, perhaps for the first time, what she has willingly surrendered. The powerful revelation that comes from your silent detachment is undeniable and profound. Remember, silence isn't merely the absence of sound. It's the presence of dignity, strength, and self-control. It's your way of saying everything without uttering a single word. Now, speak out and comment below. My silence says it all. Number 3. Embracing scarcity. When she left, your instinct was to remain available, to show her your unwavering support, to prove your undying loyalty, and perhaps even to wait patiently in the background, hoping she would eventually see your true worth. But the harsh reality is this: constant availability doesn't increase your value, it destroys it. Scarcity is what creates worth because people inherently crave what is rare, elusive, and uncertain. You've unintentionally devalued yourself by always being present, making it easy for her to believe she could walk away without consequence. Stoicism teaches us the value of deliberate scarcity, not as a manipulative tactic, but as a fundamental truth about human psychology. When you willingly remove your presence, you create a vacuum that demands filling. She expected your desperation, your repeated attempts to regain her affection. Instead, when confronted by your complete absence, she faces uncertainty and a profound sense of loss. Her mind wanders, questioning her own decisions. Did I miscalculate? Did I underestimate him? Yet scarcity isn't about faking indifference or strategically disappearing just to elicit a reaction. Genuine scarcity is the natural result of prioritizing your life, growth, and purpose. It arises organically when your attention shifts from her approval to your own self-improvement. Each moment you invest in yourself, in your fitness, your career, your mindset, elevates your self-worth and naturally reduces your availability. And the beauty of this approach is that it is authentic. It isn't an act. It's genuine detachment born from growth. This approach challenges her previous assumptions about you. She begins to question whether she ever truly understood your value. Your absence doesn't simply suggest that you've moved on. It strongly implies that you have better options, greater ambitions, and deeper priorities. Suddenly, she finds herself grappling with the realization that she might have made a significant mistake, losing someone whose worth far exceeded what she originally perceived. But the Stoics remind us that your true victory doesn't lie in her regret or realization. Your triumph is your own transformation, the silent recognition that you no longer require her validation. Scarcity isn't meant to punish or manipulate her. It's a declaration of your independence. You become rare not by deliberate withholding, but by your authentic pursuit of excellence, purpose, and inner strength. This powerful shift ensures you've already won, even if she never returns. Your value has increased immeasurably, and not simply in her eyes. but in your own. You have reclaimed your dignity, your confidence, and your self-respect. Whether she acknowledges your worth becomes irrelevant because you've discovered something far greater, a profound sense of fulfillment rooted solely in yourself. Now, speak out and comment below. My scarcity is my strength. Number 4. Letting go is true freedom. When she walked away, your immediate reaction was to hold tighter, gripping onto memories, texts, and photographs, convinced that letting go meant losing something irreplaceable. You felt your entire identity wrapped around her approval, affection, and presence. But here lies your fundamental error. By clinging desperately, you willingly surrendered your power. The Stoics teach us that genuine strength does not come from control, but from releasing what we cannot control. The paradoxical truth is that true freedom comes not from holding on, but from letting go entirely. Right now, you might feel that letting go is a defeat, a bitter admission that you've lost something irreplaceable. But consider this: the tighter you cling to her memory, the more you diminish your own value. Your dependency broadcasts weakness, reinforcing her belief that leaving you was justified. However, the moment you genuinely accept her absence and release the attachment, you take back every ounce of power you've ever given away. You transform the loss from a painful ending into a powerful new beginning. The Stoics believed firmly in controlling only what lies within your own power, your thoughts, emotions, and actions, not the decisions of others. Her choice to leave is beyond your control. But what is your choice to accept this and move forward? That is entirely yours. Letting go isn't resignation, it's a deliberate act of strength. It signals that your self-worth no longer depends on someone else's validation or approval. When she senses this shift, something significant happens. The woman who believed she held power over you, who was certain you'd always be there waiting, now faces the unsettling reality of your complete emotional independence. Suddenly, she's confronted by your genuine absence. Not as a tactic, not as manipulation, but as truth. And in that moment of clarity, doubt starts to seep in. She begins questioning her own judgment, wondering whether she underestimated your strength, resolve, and ability to thrive without her. But the most remarkable aspect of genuinely letting go is the internal freedom you experience. No longer burdened by anxiety, insecurity, or neediness, your mind becomes clear, your vision sharpens, and your purpose emerges stronger. This transformation is profound and deeply empowering because it comes from within, not dependent on her acknowledgement, return, or regret. She might feel drawn back toward you, sensing the powerful transformation that has taken place. Ironically, this attraction is no longer relevant to your newfound freedom. Whether or not she reaches out becomes insignificant because you've discovered something far greater than her affection. You've discovered yourself. True power isn't holding on desperately to something slipping away. It's confidently opening your hands, allowing what no longer serves you to leave freely. This emotional independence, cultivated through disciplined release, makes you unbreakable and unforgettable. Now speak out and comment below. Letting go is my freedom. Number 5. The mirror effect. Your behavior reflects your worth. You likely felt compelled to show your pain when she left, hoping your genuine heartbreak would somehow draw her back. Many men believe that displaying emotional devastation proves the sincerity of their love, that if she sees how deeply they're hurt, she'll reconsider. But here's the truth: your visible pain doesn't inspire regret, it confirms her decision. Your desperation reflects your perceived value in her eyes, and the more devastated you appear, the lower that value sinks. This is the harsh reality of human psychology, the mirror effect. Your behavior after the breakup is a direct reflection of your self-worth. When you beg, plead, or spiral into emotional chaos, you inadvertently tell her she was right to leave. Your desperation validates her choice, reinforcing her belief that you lack strength, resilience, and emotional maturity. In contrast, responding calmly, confidently, and without bitterness or anger reflects something entirely different: strength and dignity. Your indifference challenges her assumptions, forcing her to question whether she misjudged your value. Stoicism emphasizes controlling your reactions rather than external events. You cannot alter her decision or feelings, but you can control your response. By deliberately choosing composure over chaos, you shift the power dynamic. Instead of seeing a man crippled by her absence, she now confronts someone whose self-worth isn't dependent on her validation. She expects your sadness and devastation. Your unflinching calmness unsettles her, turning her certainty into doubt. To fully harness this mirror effect, invest deeply in yourself. Every moment you feel weak, remind yourself that your reactions define your worth. Redirect your emotional energy into productive actions, improving your physical health, mastering new skills, and advancing your career. Become the strongest version of yourself, not to impress or win her back, but because genuine self-worth doesn't seek external validation. Your visible growth and emotional stability become undeniable signals of your true value, far more impactful than any words you might say. In time, as you reflect strength rather than neediness, confidence rather than desperation, she'll start questioning her decision. This isn't because you intentionally manipulated her emotions, but because your genuine transformation redefines how she perceives you. She'll begin wondering if leaving was a mistake, haunted by the possibility that she underestimated who you truly are. Yet her opinion no longer holds power over you at this stage. You've already reclaimed your worth from her hands, placing it firmly back in your own. The mirror effect isn't a tactic to lure her back. It's a reminder that how you see and carry yourself defines how the world, including her, sees you. Choose dignity over despair, self-assurance over insecurity, and clarity over confusion. Reflect to her and to yourself the undeniable truth of your strength, resilience, and self-sufficiency. Now, speak out and comment below. My actions reflect my worth. Number 6. Grow silently, transform completely. When she walked away, your first instinct was to show her quickly and the world that you were fine, that her absence didn't affect you. You posted pictures, wrote statuses implying happiness, and perhaps even tried to prove how well you were doing without her. But here's the hard truth. True power doesn't come from showcasing your progress. It comes from silently transforming yourself away from public view. Your silent growth creates a far more powerful impact than any public declaration ever could. This principle aligns deeply with Stoic philosophy, which values inner transformation over external validation. Instead of rushing to show your improvements, quietly invest time, energy, and focus into becoming undeniably better. Prioritize genuine progress in your health, finances, mindset, and skills. Do it silently, without fanfare or attention-seeking. When you transform quietly, the impact is far more authentic and profound because your improvement isn't dependent on her noticing. It becomes solely for your benefit. At first, she'll assume your silence means you're broken, withdrawn, defeated. She might even interpret your disappearance as a sign she made the right choice. But as time passes and your silence continues, curiosity and doubt inevitably creep in. Why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you posting subtle clues that you're missing her? Her confidence begins to waver as the silence grows louder. Then, when she finally glimpses the reality of your transformation, perhaps through mutual friends, subtle glimpses online, or accidental encounters, she'll experience profound shock and regret, because at that moment, she'll see what she lost, now fully aware of your undeniable growth and newfound strength. Your silent improvement delivers an unmistakable message. You never needed her validation to thrive. Your progress isn't meant to provoke jealousy or regret. It becomes undeniable proof of your intrinsic worth. This authentic independence forces her to reevaluate every assumption she made about you, suddenly uncertain whether she truly understood your value. Your silent transformation speaks louder than any words you could have said to convince her otherwise. Yet, the greatest reward of silent growth is not her eventual regret or recognition. Instead, it's your own self-realization. You'll find true fulfillment not from external approval, but from the powerful knowledge that you become the best version of yourself, on your own terms, through discipline and quiet effort. Her perception of you will shift dramatically, but by then you won't even care, because you've already discovered a deeper satisfaction within yourself. Grow quietly, transform fully, and let your results speak clearly. Allow her to wonder, doubt, and eventually realize her mistake. But know that your true victory lies in the quiet pride you feel, knowing you've built yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and far more resilient than she ever imagined. Now, speak out and comment below. I grow silently. My success speaks loudly. Number 7. The weight of regret. Initially, when she left, she felt certain of her decision, confident she had chosen correctly. She believed life without you would be better, simpler, and perhaps even more fulfilling. Your immediate reaction likely reinforced her confidence. If you pleaded, chased, or displayed emotional turmoil, she felt validated and reassured by your neediness that she was right to leave. But as time progresses, as you embrace stoic detachment and quietly build yourself anew, the balance inevitably shifts. Regret is a powerful emotion that emerges not from seeing someone broken, but from seeing them thrive without you. As you let go of the need to prove your worth, genuinely moving forward, you plant seeds of uncertainty deep within her mind. Stoicism teaches us that true strength doesn't come from external validation, but from unwavering internal certainty. This inner stability profoundly unsettles her, challenging every assumption she's made about your value. Gradually, your silence and visible growth replace her initial certainty with confusion and doubt. She begins to question herself. Did she misjudge you? Did she overlook the real potential you always had? The moment she sees you genuinely succeeding, not desperately seeking attention or approval, she experiences the weight of regret. This regret stems from recognizing her own short-sightedness, realizing she underestimated your strength and potential. It's a silent realization, painful in its quiet intensity, rooted not in losing you, but in losing the possibility of what you could have become together. Yet your victory isn't about causing her pain or regret. It's about reclaiming your own worth. The beauty of this transformation is that, by the time she fully recognizes your value, her acknowledgement is no longer necessary for your happiness. You've already discovered the profound freedom that comes from emotional independence. Her regret is merely a byproduct, an unintended consequence of your authentic self-improvement. The Stoics emphasize focusing only on what's within your control, your growth, your mindset, and your emotional state. You cannot force her to regret her decision. Regret arises naturally when she witnesses your genuine, unforced progress. By completely shifting your attention away from her reactions and onto your own journey, you unknowingly increase the likelihood of this regret developing. Yet paradoxically, by the time she experiences regret, you will have transcended the need for her acknowledgement. The greatest power isn't making her regret losing you. It's genuinely becoming someone who no longer cares whether she regrets it. Your ultimate triumph is not her regret, but your liberation from emotional dependency. You've emerged stronger, wiser, and completely self-sufficient. If it comes, her regret is only proof of what you've already realized. You never needed her approval to thrive. Now, speak out and comment below. My growth is her regret. Number 8. The Art of True Indifference. When she left, your emotions ran wild. Anger, sadness, longing, all seeking expression, validation, and resolution. You felt deeply affected by her decision, believing your reaction mattered and your emotional response might somehow influence her choices. You may have even tried to demonstrate indifference as a strategy to convince her and yourself that you didn't care. But real indifference isn't something you can fake. It's a state that comes naturally when you truly no longer feel influenced by her presence or absence. Stoicism teaches us that genuine indifference is the highest form of emotional strength, not because it conveys coldness, but because it signifies complete freedom from external circumstances. Initially, your attempts at appearing indifferent likely failed because the desire for a reaction drove them. Deep down, you hoped your lack of emotion would provoke her curiosity or regret. This strategic indifference rarely works because women intuitively sense authenticity. She knew you were still emotionally invested. She knew your supposed apathy was merely a performance. Real indifference arises only after true detachment. It results from deliberate inner work, letting go of expectations, desires, and emotional dependency. Indifference doesn't mean you resent her or hold bitterness. Instead, it means you've fully accepted reality. She's no longer determining your happiness or self-worth. You've released the emotional grip she once had on you, replacing it with self-assuredness and internal stability. You no longer need to prove anything, not to her or yourself. This shift is profoundly powerful because it changes how she perceives you. Her initial assumption that you'd remain emotionally bound, forever seeking closure, begins to crumble. When she notices your genuine indifference, she's forced to reconsider everything. Questions flood her mind. Did I underestimate him? Did I truly matter less than I thought? Why is he genuinely unaffected? This newfound uncertainty creates profound psychological turmoil, disrupting her narrative and making her question her decisions at a fundamental level. But more importantly, real indifference liberates you. You've reclaimed your mental space and emotional freedom, recognizing your value without her approval. The Stoics understood that emotional detachment isn't a tactic for manipulation, but a pathway to personal freedom. You become impervious to external influences, immune to emotional manipulation, and deeply secure in your own worth. Your genuine lack of concern sends a powerful, silent message. You're beyond her emotional influence. This doesn't mean you've become cold or heartless, only that your happiness no longer depends on her presence or absence. Ironically, your genuine indifference might be the very thing that draws her back, but by then your perspective has evolved so completely that her potential return no longer holds emotional significance. You've already found a deeper form of strength rooted in true indifference, the ultimate manifestation of Stoic power. Now, speak out and comment below. I am indifferent. I reclaim my power. Number 9. Reclaiming your power by walking away. When she walked away, it felt like she took something precious from you, your confidence, self-respect, and sense of control. Each moment spent thinking about her, each text you sent hoping for reconciliation, was another step in giving her power over your emotional state. You didn't lose control because she left. You lost it because you willingly handed it over. Whenever you reached out or waited anxiously for her response, you reinforced the belief that your worth depended on her approval. But the powerful realization, the Stoic revelation, is that what was given can be reclaimed, simply by walking away. Stoicism teaches us that power is never truly lost. It's only temporarily surrendered through emotional dependence. You regain this power by choosing to detach completely, by deciding that your happiness and self-worth will no longer hinge on another person's actions. Initially, your silence might feel forced or unnatural. Doubts creep in, tempting you to reconnect or seek validation, but with discipline, your silence evolves from a strategy into genuine strength. It becomes a sign that you've stopped placing her opinions above your own inner voice. When you truly walk away, cutting all emotional ties and expectations, you signal clearly that you're no longer under her influence. Your detachment is unsettling to her, as it contradicts her assumptions about your neediness. Instead of encountering someone desperate for her attention, she finds someone who no longer cares, someone who has taken back the power she thought belonged exclusively to her. Her certainty dissolves into doubt as she confronts the possibility that she might misjudge you. Perhaps she undervalued your resilience, strength, and capacity to thrive without her. But here's the deeper truth. Reclaiming your power isn't about punishing her or making her feel regret. Instead, it's about reclaiming your own identity, peace, and freedom. It's about recognizing that your happiness should never depend on another person's presence or absence. Stoicism teaches us that true power comes from internal mastery, the disciplined decision to detach from external outcomes and focus solely on personal growth. By walking away completely, you no longer react emotionally, seek validation, no longer feel bound by the past. This newfound freedom creates a powerful shift in her perception and, more importantly, within yourself. You realize that your value was never hers to define. Her approval, affection, or recognition no longer dictates your sense of self-worth. Ultimately, whether or not she returns becomes irrelevant because you've already reclaimed the only thing that truly matters, your own emotional autonomy. You've rediscovered a profound truth that the Stoics understood centuries ago. No one can take away your power unless you willingly surrender it. And now, standing firmly in your strength, you've finally taken it back. Now, speak out and comment below. I reclaim my power. I control my value. Number 10. Becoming unshakable. Your emotions often dictate your sense of self-worth in the aftermath of heartbreak. You find yourself replaying past interactions, questioning your value and obsessively analyzing what went wrong. Initially, the departure of someone you deeply cared about feels devastating, like a powerful storm tearing through the core of your identity. But, from the Stoic perspective, this storm offers you something profoundly valuable: the opportunity to become truly unshakable. The highest level of strength doesn't merely appear unaffected. It's genuinely achieving a state where external events no longer control your emotional state. This unshakable man does not require external validation, does not chase affection, and does not crumble when confronted with rejection or loss. Instead, he remains stable, grounded, and deeply confident, irrespective of others' opinions or decisions. Right now, your mind might be clouded with thoughts of her, wondering if she's happy without you, if she regrets leaving, or if she ever thinks about coming back. But these thoughts anchor you to weakness. Each moment you spend hoping, waiting, or worrying gives away your power, reaffirming her influence over you. The Stoic practice calls on you to reclaim your emotional sovereignty by understanding that your worth is intrinsic and non-negotiable. As you steadily shift your focus inward, investing in personal growth, discipline, and self-improvement, you naturally detach from outcomes involving her. This detachment isn't born from bitterness or resentment. It's a quiet confidence that emerges when you fully accept your power to control your reactions rather than relying on external approval. By mastering this internal state, you become genuinely immune to emotional turmoil, fully secure in yourself regardless of her action. When she finally notices this profound transformation, and she inevitably will, she'll realize she lost someone genuinely rare, a man completely at ease within himself. Your calm indifference isn't forced, it's the inevitable result of deep emotional mastery. She senses this authenticity, making her doubt everything she previously assumed about you. She begins to question her judgment, haunted by the possibility that she let go of someone truly exceptional. Yet paradoxically, by this point, her regret is meaningless to you. Your newfound emotional independence is more fulfilling and powerful than her return ever could be. The beauty of becoming unshakable is that your sense of worth no longer fluctuates based on her attention or affection. You've risen above emotional manipulation, beyond the need for reassurance, and far above any impulse to seek validation from others. Your emotional clarity and inner peace become an unmistakable sign of your true value, making you inherently attractive, but you no longer rely on attraction to define you. This state of being unshakable is the ultimate Stoic achievement. It's freedom from external influences, total ownership of your emotions, and complete self-mastery. Once attained, nothing and no one can disrupt your sense of self or diminish your worth. You have become genuinely free, resilient, and untouchable, the highest form of strength and fulfillment. Now, speak out and comment below. I am unshakable. I own my power. You came here thinking disappearing would push her away forever, but now you see it's not about pushing her away. It's about creating a space where she has no choice but to reflect on what she's lost. Your power was never in chasing her. It was in mastering yourself. She didn't take that power. She only made you realize how much more you could become. If you're ready to keep evolving and become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, like this video, subscribe and comment. I am unstoppable. Stay strong, keep building, because your future awaits no one.